Fur friends, in our last video, we talked about the importance of color palettes and using your colors consistently because you are doing so much work creating your color palette. You don't want to be using a random shade of blue every single time. We want to make sure we're using the exact same shade every single time. And one of the tools we mentioned was Pantone. Now, Pantone is the universal color system that printers and designers use to get the exact shade every single time. But they also have a really great online tool because the books are pretty expensive. So I'm going to show you guys, if you do have a hex code that you have for your colors, how you can take that and get a Pantone color, CMYK, and RGB codes from it. And this is going to be at Pantone.com. We're going to go ahead and click Find a Pantone color. We're going to go ahead and hit Convert. And then we're going to go ahead and hit RGB CMYK Hex. Now from here, we're going to go over here where it says color space, and we're going to change it to hex. Now this is where I'm sure you guys have seen a color picker like this a million times in Canva, on your website, on Microsoft Word. So this is where if maybe you want to start picking a color, you can use this. Or if you already have one that you use over and over and over again, this is where you're going to type in the letters and the numbers to get that hex code. So I'm just going to randomly, I'm just going to pick one for now. This is kind of close to what we do. Pick. So once you go ahead and pick, you're going to want to make sure you're at the Pantone Formula Guide coded, and you're going to hit search. What it's going to do is it's going to give you the best match for your Pantone code. So again, Pantone is really important because this is the single truth of color for all designers, for fashion designers, interior designers, all printers. This is the same color blue no matter what, because the ink is not CMYK, which is cyan, yellow, magenta, and black being laid down. It is actually just this color. So this color will be the same no matter what. That's why we highly suggest, if you guys are printing anything, to invest in Pantone colors because it will make it just that much more consistent. So the Pantone color is really important. So you're going to want to go ahead and pick the best match. Usually Pantone does a really good job of picking what the match is. So once you click that, it will give you everything you need to know about that color. It will give you the RGB. It will give you the CMYK. I would ignore the hex. What it does is it changes the hex code to match a little bit closer to the Pantone, but we want to keep the hex code that you guys are doing. But the CMYK and the RGB and the Pantone color will be really, really important. So go ahead, write down the exact Pantone color, write down the CMYK values, write down the RGB values. When you're doing anything in print with a local printer who doesn't have Pantone, you're going to want to give them the CMYK. They can adjust their printer to these exact percentages, making sure that your color is being printed correctly. If you're doing anything digitally without the hex code, RGB is really nice to have in your back pocket. And then, of course, the actual Pantone number. That way, if you are investing in doing a big print job, you have that. Your color is consistent, you're owning your color, and you're making yourself a premium brand.